Catherine the Moe's great-grandson, Diarmait MacMurchada, was no less ambitious or ruthless than his royal ancestor. And whereas the imprint of the 11th century King of Leinster on Ferns is hard to see, that is not so with the 12th century Diarmait. Diarmait MacMurchada has been much maligned, and character depictions of him suggest that he was a very aggressive individual, but he was also highly innovative. He was patron of traditional scholarship, but also contemporary art forms, especially Romanesque. He was patron of hereditary ecclesiastical families, as well as of new religious orders and church reform, an advocate of traditional rights of kingship, while also open to introducing external influences. For example, through his use of charters along the continental line, the creation of royal administration and a royal court, and I suppose ultimately his pursuit of allies outside Ireland to assist him in achieving his ambitions. Even more than any other Chinnsealaigh king, Diarmait MacMurchada made Ferns his seat of power, and one suspects that he had an eye on the development of Dublin, Waterford and Bristol. For in 1166, when on his way to seek support from Henry II, he stayed in the house of Robert Fitzharding in Bristol, who had been instrumental in expanding the town and had founded an abbey for Augustinian canons there in the 1140s. And if you go to Bristol, very little of the St. Augustine's still survive. It's incorporated into the later Bristol Cathedral, but there are bits of it there. And whether he was inspired, for example, to by Fitzharding or in touch with Fitzharding about Augustinian canons and setting up an abbey here is something that needs to be looked at. If we begin with Diarmait's own stronghold in Ferns, nothing of it survives, although David Sweetman in his excavation report on Ferns Castle suggested that there may be a hint of the earlier place in one part of the castle foundations. Contemporary sources indicate that Diarmait had built a stone house at Ferns and that this was demolished by his Irish enemies in 1166. For example, the Annals of Diarmait, which I've got to put up here, but I'll read it to you, says, a hosting by Tiernan O'Rourke and by Diarmait O'Loughlin and the foreigners of Dublin with them against MacMurchada to take revenge for O'Rourke's wife, the famous Deborah Gill. And they demolished the stone house on Tachcliche, which MacMurchada had at Ferns, and they burned the camp and banished him overseas, and divided Chinnsealaigh in two. Prior to the demolition of the stone house, MacMurchada had burned Ferns himself, the Annals of the Four Masters saying, for fear that the men of Connacht would burn his castle and his house. Descriptions of the military attack on Ferns in 1166-67 demonstrate how this place was at the end of a strategic corridor, as not only did the High King Ruaidhrí Ó Crothair attempt to clear a place called Fitzharding, the wooded fastness on the border of modern South Wicklow, North Wexford, sort of east of Bunclody, because this was the territory to which Diarmait retreated as a defence. In his narrative on Diarmait's return to Ireland with the Anglo-Norman allies, Gerardus Cambrensis describes him as retreating there again in 1169. Ferns Castle for you, as you know out there. Anyway, this is what Gerardus says, and it's quite an interesting passage on military tactics and that Diarmait employed. And I suspect they're native military tactics, that this was what was happening in the 1160s as well. So he retreated with his followers within an area not far from Ferns, which was sealed off from all sides by very thick forests, steep mountains, rivers and bogs, and which the nature of the terrain and its position made extremely inaccessible. Here, with Fitzstephen's help, he set about felling trees, made in the woods impenetrable from all sides with fallen trees and logs joined together, broke up the level ground with deep pits and trenches, prepared for their own sallies, hidden, and narrow entrances and exits by tortuous routes, and in short made the terrain passable for himself and his followers and impassable for the enemy, thus greatly increasing its natural difficulty by artificial means. So that is a very interesting passage, as I say, from a military perspective, but also about the landscape of Ferns and the defence of Ferns.